I'm delighted to open this exciting forum because it is indeed a very special one. It touches on a subject of personal interest of mine, namely smart cities. The future of how cities will look like and thus how we will live together. Tariq from Mad Talks will do the honors of introducing each speaker in due course as usual, so I will not do that. I'm happy to say that I was involved in the Silicon Park City project from the humble beginnings when a smart city committee under the leadership of engineer Muammar Al-Khatiri was formed 3-4 years ago to start understanding the complex new phenomenon and start planning its creation. As you can see, we are mixing through 4 floors what we have here today. So we are mixing fixed desk and flexi-desk and offices on all floors. And if you're a flexi-desk taker here in this building today, you can use that space over there at your Liberty as well. And you have a lot more choice, a lot more different kinds of furniture that you can sit on. So if the chairs here gets a little bit too hard, you can try the new chairs over there. Obviously, Silicon Park, which the other gentleman will talk more about today, will have 85 different retail shops, so there will be ample places to eat and drink over there as well. What we will do different this time is we will intersperse the whole area with strategic partners. I cannot divulge who these will be yet, but we have some very, very interesting names on the board already, which is going to spice up the experience of being in Dtec.
This is a really special moment today, and this is a culmination of a lot of hard work that the Dtec team has been putting together. And every time I talk to them, they're working on the Silicon Park. Okay, now you can see it. To me, smart cities are actually happy cities. It's not just about being smart, it's actually being about happy. Smart makes it look really clever. But to me, it really is about connecting the dots. And when you connect the dots of infrastructure, technology, telecoms, and information, and you start integrating it, that is when it starts becoming a smart city. Now, why is it smart? It's smart because the community develops. It's smart because you will be happier living in this place. And it's smart because if you saw that little film, did you see any new technology there? Nothing really. It's seamless. It's transparent. It's invisible. Technology is there to serve us, not to get in the way. And our speakers today are going to almost certainly talk about how we are enhancing and improving the community and the city, how we can save money, how we can help the environment, how we can engage the community and be able to interact with each other much, much closer. That is what makes a happy and smart city. So, without further ado, our first guest is from Do Telecom. And this is Jihad Tayyara, who is the Vice President ICT Commercial for Business Development. And he's going to talk about the role of telcos, the invisible role of telcos in smart cities. So please put your hands together for Jihad, please.
Morning. Wow, that's a big crowd. This is really getting bigger and bigger. The first time I was here, it was probably half the size. And Hans, you've done a great job promoting this. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is the role of telcos in transforming the city, the roles of telcos in transforming organization and embracing smarter cities. You would notice this. I mean, this is not a secret. Change is all around us. I woke up this morning, my 10-year-old kid was, did you download iOS 12? Did you download iOS 12? This is really new. This is, you know, it's amazing. They care about upgrading the iOS. I don't know what service they will be using from it, but you know, they have to upgrade. They have to have the latest technology, the latest service, all those social communication and social media services. So it's really all around us. And this is changing the way we live, work, and communicate. This is having a profound impact on the way we behave around. So this is enhancing our lives, obviously from smartphones to wearables to social network. So all the wearables that we wear, and those have even health benefit at some point. So imagine you're wearing a device that checks all your biometrics, checks your heart rate, those conditions, and alerts you when you have an excessive heart rate. This is really life-saving. We have seen a video 2 weeks ago about a drone rushing into a site and helping a patient with a CPR. This is amazing. This is extremely fast. This is, cutthroat technology. Transforming at work, a lot of things are changing, and we all see this and realize it. And this is even reinventing the way we do business. Blockchain is taking us and AI to territories unheard of. So what's happening here? Technology is now available, is more affordable, is more. So blockchain, as an example, as a mathematical equation, was always there for a while, for, I don't know, 10, 15 years now. But now it's becoming more affordable. We have more compute power. We can afford to introduce this and implement it in the process. But guess what? If we only introduce technology and don't look at the holistic service, don't look at how this will improve the way we consume services, then we did not really answer the question. Again, this is what Tariq was mentioning. It's all about happiness. In terms of connectivity, 10, 15 years ago, the only way of connecting was through phone calls. Now we have a lot of ways to connect. We have, and then we introduced SMS a while ago, then all the Messenger, all the Instagram, all the WhatsApp, all those flavors are there now. The way we learn, the way we consume products, people are expecting now the consumption of product to be different. They don't want to walk into a retail store and buy. They want to click online. They want this behavior. They want to consume services online. They want to stream when they want, not when it's aired online on the TV. So all those are changing, and the way we parent our kids as well is changing. So everything around us is changing. At the 15 years ago, the only question with kids was whether I can play now or not. Now we have to control their screen time. We worry about how they interface with the digital world. And from a city perspective, this is transforming the way we build cities. Historically, all cities were built around rivers, around natural resources, around agricultural sites. This is how cities were built. Now, things are changing. Now we're building cities around technology as well. And Dubai is the best example for that. Technology is at the heart of how cities are evolving. The previous Denver mayor said that if the 19th century was the century of empires, we had a lot of empires. The 20th century was the century of nation states, and the 21st century is the century of cities. Cities are becoming more and more prominent. China is planning to build 10 New York cities in the next decade. As per McKinsey, 50%, in 2050, 80% of the world population would be living in cities. So cities are at the heart of this transformation and the evolution. And we as telcos are trying hard to work to support that transformation. And His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum said it very clearly. It's about the quality of life. And technology, we're harnessing technology, we're using technology. Again, we keep repeating the same concept. It's about happiness, and technology is a means to an end. I will discuss a little bit the project that Hans mentioned, which is the Silicon Park. We're working with our partner, Orange Business Solution, and Dubai Silicon Oasis to transform the Silicon Park into the smartest district in the region. I will not mention any of this. I think Hans has an updated slide with the video. It was an amazing video. I didn't realize it was going to look that interesting. And again, as Tariq said, it's not about the technology. It's about how we can make people and the residents and visitors happier. There will be more than 22,000 environmental sensors in this district. That will by far be the smartest district. That's a showcase for the region. This is how it was intended, and this is what we're helping Dubai Silicon Oasis to build. The second project is something that we're really proud of as well, which is the Smart Dubai platform, what we call Dubai Pulse. Dubai Pulse is a public-private partnership between DO and the Smart Dubai office. The project was initiated a year and a half or around 2 years ago. We built the platform. together with the Smart Dubai office, and the platform is live and running. So if you go to dubaipulse.gov.ae, all the services are there. So this platform really is what? Is kind of, you think of it as the infrastructure, as the digital backbone of the city, okay? Think of it as the digital backbone of the city, where it's a repository for all data of all government entities will be there. Any Dubai government entity, and this is helped by the data law that was issued again 2 years ago, and Dubai is one of the first cities in the world to have such a law, which is the Dubai data law. And this law allows to classify data from public data to private data to shared data. So all that data will reside on this platform, and the platform will be able to expose that data to the world, okay? So I'm looking at probably entrepreneurs, I'm looking at startups, I'm looking at young people that are hungry for data and that want to utilize that data to, to offer a service. We're talking about digital ID services. So those will be exposed from the platform, digital payment gateway. So again, as a startup, instead of reinventing those services, instead of connecting with a digital payment service, instead of worrying about or linking the ID services to Facebook or the other, here you have a secure digital ID that you can utilize and link it to your application and to your service. This is really an amazing platform that is the beating heart of the city. At the same time of having those services, so you have as well access to the open and shared data that is there on the platform. And you can even access infrastructure as a service. So you can build your own environment there on the platform and test and play with the data and build the application there. This platform now is solving real business challenges. This is a dashboard. Okay, this is a dashboard that was built using telco data, and that's hosted on the Smart Dubai platform or Dubai Pulse. We developed this to showcase how people movement during New Year's Eve, and we showcased this to Dubai Police and the Road and Transport Authority, and they were very impressed with it, to show how people are moving across the city. So what's happening here, we look at 3 months, so we train the data based on a 3 months historic pattern, and we start predicting that at this time, so there is a historic pattern and there's predictive pattern. We predict that at, let's say on the 31st of December at 6 p.m., people should be leaving. But what actually is happening is at 3 p.m., people started vacating the, let's say the Burj Khalifa area, because there were a lot of celebration and people were flocking from everywhere in the city. So what happened that day is people start leaving earlier, and another set of people started coming to celebrate the evening. We saw that in Burj Khalifa area, we had a lot of people gathering there and other areas being freed. How does this help? This help, if you remember, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I think, when there was a fire in the address. So this could be used as a tool, again, for, let's say, Dubai Police or Road and Transport, to know exactly where are people, where are they more, gathered, and where do we need to send help to. So this is extremely useful in this sense. This shows, historically, the movement of people from development to another. Okay, and I'm sure in Silicon Park, as a sales pitch, should be interested in something like this. So I can show you on a map where people are moving from which area to which area, and simply we're using the DIWA connection and disconnection meter reading. Again, all anonymized, without reference to person, but cross-connecting those dots between, let's say, telco and DIWA and other. I wanted to really show you what we're currently doing as telcos. So we're not focused, it's not about infrastructure services anymore, it's more about the smart services, it's about data, it's about the horizontal play, linking all the silos and all the services together. Thank you very much.
Hi, yeah, I saw on the slides that Dubai ID was mentioned. How is that different from Emirates ID?
Emirates ID is the physical ID that you carry. Dubai ID, or My ID, I think the new branding, is the electronic version of a single sign-on service. Now, there's a new announcement, and this is being done by the Smart Dubai office through the TRA, where they will evolve as well to UAE ID. So the UAE ID will be exactly a digital replica of your Emirates ID. So this is a single sign-on service that will allow you to interact with government services, with websites, with any type of electronic service, so to consume electronic service or hosted services through your UAE ID.
I haven't heard, in the last 30 minutes, I haven't heard the word privacy once. I haven't heard about our rights and how you're going to analyze this and use it against us once. How this data is going to be used by banks to give us or not give us loans, auto loans, etc., etc.
Because it's a very important, and I used a lot of synonymous words. I said the data will be anonymized. I said, obviously when you anonymize data, you share it at an aggregate level. I'm not talking about a specific person's data. I'm talking about the aggregate level. I'm showing you how people are moving together from one place to another. We can go into a lot of details. So in a zone, in a zone where there are less than 200 people, I think, or 300, I don't remember, we don't even show that there is anyone there. So those things are there, obviously.
Is there going to be like any disadvantages for using the platform?
And especially for young people.
Disadvantage? I'm a salesperson, right? I cannot tell you that there will be any. It's the best platform in the world.
That's the best question asked.
I know. It's the best platform in the world. But no, on a serious I'll take this a little bit differently. Again, it's a change management process. It's a transformation exercise. I'm having challenges internally because I need to convince people to use the platform, right? So from my side, it's I need to convince people to move from their silo experience, from the way they were doing business, to embracing a new world of interconnected service. So this is, yes, it's a challenge. This is very difficult. But for you as a consumer, this will give you access to integrated service. An example that is being built by Smart Dubai Office is the Dubai Now application. I don't know if you had the chance to see it, or any other application. It integrates all the city services through one single application.
Thank you very, very much indeed, Jihad, and thank you for participating. Now,
thank you,
our big hand, thank you. Fadi Shanah, he is the head of Smart Cities and Regional Director for Smart Cities and Healthcare. Fadi, please, over to you.
I'm really excited, to be here, and I'm really happy that I can see the young generations attending this kind of forums. I was in Jordan last week on a panel speaking about smart cities. It's led by Smart Dubai. And we had this young kid. He's like 10, 11 years old at the age of my son. And he was the most active, actually, audience. He was asking all the relevant questions. And at the end of the panel, we had some questions from the government there, from the municipalities. They were asking us, what do we need to do in order to start Smart City project? What are the initiatives that we need to adapt and all of these things? And the answer from the panel was simply, ask your customer. And this is our customers. If you look about Smart City projects, those guys are our customers. It's not myself. It's not all the old guys now trying to put strategy and everything. We're building this for the new generation. So thank you for coming, guys. And I would like to see you more interactive in those topics, because your opinion actually is very important for shaping the future. As you all know, we all now using all of the technologies, especially the young generation. So all the connected devices, connected cars, and all of these things that we have on a daily uses are producing data. The current situation, analysts, they're saying that we're at the average of 500 megabytes of producing data per person today. But this expected to reach to, by the economists, to 62 gigabytes in the coming few years, less than 10 years. So this is a massive amount of data will be produced by a single person every day. The prediction says that more than 300 million connected cars will be in the 2050. Each car will produce more than 4,000 gigabytes daily. This is a tremendous data will be produced by those connected cars. What does that mean? We're coming to a time, ladies and gentlemen, that we're living, everything we do on a daily basis, we leave behind us a tremendous amount of data, trail of data actually, something is useful, something we think is not useful, and this data will remain there for a long time after we are gone. So societies are now, with all these connected objects, cars, homes, wearable devices, everything that we see and we use on a daily basis, with that, the cities itself, it started to create its nervous system. And this system, we are as humans now, we are acting as sensors. We became human sensors into this smart city nervous system, I would say. Why data is important? In the recent actual situation happened in Syria, and refugees there, they were moving across Europe. The analyst says that if the data produced, the digital fingerprints produced by the search happened by those refugees during their move in the European nations has been collected and analyzed, this would have provided a very useful information to countries to prepare for receiving those refugees before they happen. In the healthcare, a very important procedure in healthcare, which is currently started to be used, is the DNA sequence. The DNA sequencing process actually enables doctor to decide on the right medicine to be given to the right patient. This process in the past used to cost more than $100,000 US. As we speak today, this, thanks to technology and analytics and processing, it has been reduced to $3,000. In few years from now, it's expected to reach to $40. What does that mean? This means that the healthcare data produced on a daily basis will be tremendously increased. The current percentage of growth in health data, as per IBM Watson, is more than 48% a year. So every year there's an increase of healthcare data provided. This is another source of tremendous data is produced. So the question is how to use this data, how to use the data that you are producing, how to use the data that you own and make it smart and take smart decisions from this data. This goes into creating a holistic approach. So the whole smart city concept is about creating a holistic approach of managing your data from the moment that you collect the data, then you transport the data, then you store the data and compute, secure it, analyze it, then finally create a collaboration and make decisions. Starting with the first step, collecting data. And collecting data here, as we have all experience, as we've seen, sensors, hundreds of thousands of manufacturers of sensors coming now to the market. Everything is connected, your fridge, your car, your phone, everything is connected. So collecting data from multiple sources is a very important. And what kind of data? The next step is transport. And the telcos, like do ourselves also, we're coming from a telco background, it's in our DNA. So transport is very important. What kind of connectivity we need to transport this data? This question, maybe as Jihad said, it's not relevant for people they want to create smart city. You need to have everything. I mean, you have multiple sources of data. They connect in different methods of connectivities. All the traditional fixed and wireless connectivities, yes, required. But what's also important, and this is the role of the telcos within countries, is to enable the fit for the purpose connectivity available. So looking into a new technology, like the LP1 technology, for example, into connecting sensors. The third step is to store and compute. And this is a very important aspect. So we always face it in any of our projects with many clients. Where I'm going to host the data? Shall I build my own data center? Or I have it on the cloud? Is it public? Is it private? The answer to this, it can be all. The thing is, what kind of services you need to actually conduct? Where do you need to have the data? Of course, as long as you have the right, I would say, privacy, security aspects and everything in place, you can work in multiple methods. In many projects, we worked in a hybrid model where clients, they wanted to have their data hosted locally, but still analytics and everything can be done on the cloud. So we created kind of a hybrid model. And one of those examples is the European Space Agency, where we have partnered with them to create this kind of hybrid private public cloud, and we're connecting data from all those satellites, helping them into managing it on a daily basis. The fourth step is security. And we talked about security, and security is a very important aspect. When we talk about security here, it's not about technology again. Security is a very, I would say, it should be a very holistic approach from security perspective. So having the right technology to secure the data from the moment it's collected from the sensor up to the platforms is very important, but as well as also having the right policies in the place. And the fifth step is to analyze the data. So once you have the data, you need to start creating a meaningful use of this data. And this is a very important step in the journey of the data. So analytics. One of the interesting examples that we have done with a global operator for heating in Europe, that we have been serving them for ages, but we have created then recently in a partnership with Microsoft Azure and a machine learning and analytics, predictive analytics into the data that we have collected, the historical data that we had from this client and all the new data, and also cross this with the data coming from manufacturers for spare parts, that we have been able now to predict failures in equipments before it happens. The final thing is to create this collaboration and make decisions. And this is where Dubai has been actually leading on that one. And the Pulse platform that Jihad was talking about is a very good example of that, because this is where the government decided into collecting all of this data from the different government agencies and make it open for the public so they can use it in creating something useful and meaningful for the economy and for the country. Data, when it's collected, also the important thing is that will help city operators into taking decisions, and sometimes decisions can be done automatically. So if you create the right algorithms and the right sequence of actions need to be taken, creating this command and control center, which is also something that we will have in the Silicon Park project, will be actions will be taken automatically. Technology, as we said, it's not everything. You can have the latest technology, you can have everything you need from sensors, AI, robots, machines, and everything. But still, an important aspect of this is how to build it. It's all about partnerships. So as you have seen and experienced, it's not anymore one vendor, one company can do everything. No one can do a smart city project. It's not a box that you buy. It's a framework that brings multiple partners together in delivering this project to the citizens. What's the human aspect is very important. What's the user journeys? What are the things, the services that you need to select for that people they need to have in this city? Then we go into the integration and operation. So relying on partner is very important. So you need a partner that can help you into integrating these multiple technologies. I mean, when we talk about smart services, smart systems, every system we have now is smart. The idea is that how to make these systems talk to each other, how to create the integration. Integration is the key word and the key aspect of delivering a smart city projects. But not only integration, is also how to help the city operators later on in the operation. So not to create a complex integration that will result in a very complex operation, which will result in a dissatisfaction of customers later on. And finally, we don't stop there. This partner that you need to partner with also, he has to be your partner for innovation. And innovation is a very important aspect of a smart city framework. You don't build a smart city and forget about innovation, because innovation is actually a key that will keep the smart city project alive. Finally, if you look at the steps that we have considered into any smart city projects, those 6 steps, you have the right partner for consulting, for innovation, for integration and operation. This is where you guarantee to have a very successful smart city project.
Yeah, it's going to connect with the United Arab Emirates.
See, a very good question. I mean, this is the thing. Currently, what we have described in those projects are smart district projects. So you create a district, you increase the level of smartness within this district, and you have a different livable experience within the district. Now, connecting cities together or districts together, these are initiatives run on a government level. And I think if you look at the area that we live in, the Middle East, you will see Dubai is leading as an example because they have taken this initiative from top down, and they have actually put the right structure for it and with all the regulations around it. So Dubai is heading other countries, I would say, in terms of the level of progress. So I think we will experience it in Dubai before other countries. Now, that doesn't mean that other countries in the region, they are not taking steps on that, but it's still fragmented from I would say, regulation perspective and everything. At one day, I cannot tell you which day will be this, but regulations will reach to the same level where cross countries data sharing will happen.
How can the blockchain gonna serve the data nervous system that you mentioned? And is it already implemented, or there is a plan to implement it in the future?
I mean, again, taking an example of Dubai, I'm very proud living in Dubai because this is where things happen because initiatives come top down. I mean, this is where actually it's a key message. I mean, when you have on the leadership this kind of level of awareness and taking these brave decisions by adapting technology before all the other countries there, things works. And this is what you have seen. I have discussions with people coming from the US, from Europe. They're always been amazed about the level and how quick Dubai has evolved in terms of smart services.
As we talk about these amazing initiatives that are going on, I think as a community, we need to constantly be calibrating and checking ourselves in terms of data ethics and in terms of our privacy.
Yeah, I agree. This topic, unfortunately, it's not addressed on the right level globally, I would say.
Absolutely, and I'm saying it is a global issue because a lot of these companies have so much data calibrated down to that level. So as consumers, we need to keep raising our hands and saying, guys, how's my data being used? and please put the AI machine with the right ethical balance, which is analyzing our data. And that's really, really important. So thank you very much indeed. A big hand for Tariq.
Thanks.
Now we have our third speaker, Engineer Mohammed Khalid Al-Kathiri. He's the Executive Vice President, Engineering and Smart City at Dubai Silicon Oasis. And he is going to make smart getting smarter at the Dubai Silicon Oasis Smart City project. Sir, engineer.
Thank you for the previous speakers, Jihad and Fadi, for your insights. So speaking about smart cities here at Dubai Silicon Oasis, we started in 2012 with a new strategy focusing on 4 main pillars, starting with becoming a desired society in the UAE and a technology hub, and to have happy people, plus to be a smart city. So from there, we focused on the 6 pillars of smart cities, which is mostly known to all of you, like the environment, the people, the governance, living, and so on. DSO's role, or the primary role for us in the smart city spectrum, is to be a center of excellence and also a testbed for the government of Dubai. We are strategic partners for Smart Dubai office. So we are, through Silicon Park and different initiatives, we work with Smart Dubai in becoming a testbed for all the smart initiatives that have been launched through the government. We also here in this building, in Dtec, host Intel Ignition Lab. This is a lab that is open for everyone, students, entrepreneurs, startups, companies, government entities, to collaborate and to see what is the cutting edge technology that they can use for their projects or proof of concepts. Also, with our partners, we've worked on delivering the 5G lab. This is a lab that will focus only on the use cases of the 5G network. With Emirates Airline, Etisalat, and General Electric, we launched also a crowdsourcing platform called Intalaq, which we had winners from different companies, and we see them now in the market as startups. I personally used Dubs in my last flight. They come to your house, they check in your bags, they give you your boarding pass, and you just go directly to the gate without any hassle. So we are using solar panels in different buildings and different devices and even we have a zero building that is totally dependent on solar. This is a solar masjid, which is fully powered by by solar panels, and even it generates more than the required power, so we also get that as a saving to our utility bill. Smart waste management version 1. This is for the smart bins. We have deployed sensors in all the smart bins in DSO. So in order to reduce the carbon footprint of trucks going around collecting the waste, so they go only to the waste bins that are full or almost to be full, and they have a dashboard that shows them exactly where to go. The operation cost is reduced from 4,000 dirhams per month to around 440 dirhams per month. And for version 2, we are exploring new technology by having primary sensor and secondary sensors that are connected to the primary one. And also working on a proof of concept to have smart vending machines that will give you tokens that you can exchange with different retailers as you drop your plastic bottles or cans, and it will give you or redeem these tickets with different retailers here in Silicon Oasis. Delivering a smart pole, we worked on different solutions with different vendors. The latest smart pole we worked with Huawei, and this is having different features such as an SOS button, a screen that can deliver advertisement, wayfinding, or even announcements. Also Wi-Fi connectivity, solar power as a source of power for these lights, plus the connection through an IoT gateway. Also using LED lights for the benefit of the environment, so reducing also on the consumption of electricity. So the building you are sitting in, we call it the zero bulb building, and we got that idea from Mercedes-Benz when they launched the new S-Class. That S-Class is a zero bulb car, so they don't have any conventional lighting in it. So based on this, we transformed this building to be a showcase also for having LED lights and all over the lights used. As many of the speakers said, it's not about technology, it's also about the happiness of the community. So we had an initiative where we have allocated 400 plots of land for the community who are living here in DSO, especially people who are living in flats where they don't have the privilege of having a plot of land. So these lands have been given to them on first come, first serve basis. Silicon Park, I think the two speakers talked about, but I can say that we have in this project 28 services, which covers 60 smart services. And as you know, it's not really showing that smartness as visual, but the experience itself and how seamless it goes through the buildings. If you are a resident, or if you are a office owner, or you are a tenant at the retail space. And also the project, the Silicon Park project is around 1.4 billion dirhams. The smart component is around 100 million dirhams. Our security team deploys a smart drone with a camera to see if there's an incident or there's a suspicious car parked somewhere. So this is the first responder, if you can say, and they just check through the camera if there's any necessity to send backup or security patrol to that area. Also, we are proud to be the first free zone to host electrical charging stations for electrical cars, of course. And this is in collaboration with DIWA. So we have 5 charging stations here in DSO. And by the way, it is for free till 2019 as announced by DIWA. So we have a good, strong relations with Volkswagen Middle East as a strategic partner to DSO by providing us with their hybrid cars, and also partnering with us in different initiatives that we are working on, such as the human crossing. This is one of the solutions. when Volkswagen approached it, and I think we have Bruno here from Volkswagen, Middle East. When they approached us with this idea, it took us 24 hours, 48 hours maximum to get the approvals. And then within a week, it was up and running. So this is when you have this test bed mentality in a smart city environment. Also, another solution, we are working with a company called Dirk. And this is an AI solution, artificial intelligence, where predictive accidents can be reported to you as you drive in your vehicle. So the version 1 was to equip an intersection with the solution and see how cars will react to that intersection and what are the violations that are happening, and to make sure that the accuracy of the information that we are getting from the devices, that you get the alert in the right time. So people are really important. So with our partnership with Rochester Institute of Technology University, we have delivered different diplomas in different areas. So one of them is the Diploma in Innovation and Smart Cities. Also, we did a Master's in City Science, which DSO has sponsored the first batch, and the first batch really are the most of them are from the government of Dubai, representing different entities such as the Executive Office, DIWA, and Dubai Municipality, and so on. We worked on a solution which applies blockchain technology with the DED. So initially, we used to have DSO talking to different entities to get the data across from DSO to different entities in the government. But now we are connected through a blockchain network, so all the licensee and partner information is being shared through blockchain technology, and we are, inshallah, going to expand that network. I hope that if you have good information, and good luck. Thank you.
Any questions? Because this is all real, this is happening, it's literally next door.
Well, is the technology is being like who kills the national? It kills it. Well, how the technology will save the environment for the next years?
Great.
If you saw in the presentation, we had different examples of how the technology is helping environment. So, for example, having the waste management or the waste bins with sensors, I said that it reduced the number of truck trips through the waste management bins by from 440 trips to 84 trips or something like that. So that reduces the carbon footprint, it reduces the energy wasted, it has more efficiency, so you don't get that pollution coming from the trucks. The other thing that we also mentioned, that we will have sensors in the Silicon Park, or we can deploy sensors using the IoT or using the NORA network, and these sensors will also give you an indication of the air quality, the pollution, whether the air is that we have in DSO it's good quality, or we need there's a leak from somewhere, or there's a gas happening from one of the plants here.
Great. Engineer Muammar, thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you.
Thank you. Big hand.
Shukran.
Our final speaker for this morning is, I have to work this thing carefully, Mr. Paul Christian Espiritu. He is the NEM Middle East General Manager at NEM Blockchain. Sir.
Today I'm going to be talking about the blockchain technology. We'll make it a bit more simple this day and not talk about the details of what is blockchain and etc., etc. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. We've always come into this familiar statement that, why do we need to fix the broken? It's working anyway. The train or the metro system has been working for decades already. It has been working in our country, I think, since the 1980s. But then it got stuck there. It got used to be the old train system that somebody was driving. And Dubai came up with this idea to launch the metro, which is a driverless system. It wasn't broken before, but Dubai fixed it. It's innovation. It's a tool. It's a tool that anybody can use. This is the reason why great minds gather and create something new, bringing back the human in us. I like the idea that we're doing the innovation to bring back the humanity in us. We've been so focused on working, building our careers, creating technologies that allows us to work more. But the thing now is, people are creating ideas, people are creating innovations that allows us to enjoy life. I like to start my presentation always with a story. 25 years ago, I'm still young by the way, my mom used to bring me in their office. She works as an accountant. And she does her job keeping these huge ledgers, a brown long book where she keeps all the records of all the companies. And then the Excel came in the, I think, 90s. As an accountant doing her job before, she had to adapt to the change. This is what we are doing. This is what we are introducing. It's because tools are being created for you and me, and we can adapt to the change. Years back, when I was still in school, when the teacher told us to do a research, we go to this. To the young minds out there, respect this elderly. We used to research using this. We come to libraries, open up big books, giant piles, volumes of encyclopedia. Now what the internet did was, it decentralized data. Now we do our research here, on our mobile phones. We go to Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a decentralization of knowledge, decentralization of data, wherein people contribute and people can read. Decentralization makes data access easier. Now what blockchain does is it's going to decentralize everything. It's going to decentralize the banking system, probably. It's going to decentralize logistics system, healthcare systems, and others. Okay, blockchain improves trust. So if you need to improve the trust in the things that you do or in your system, you can go blockchain. You can opt to use it, you can opt to not use it. But how does it improve trust? Imagine this is you. And you're asking somebody to keep a record. Blockchain is simply a record, a digital record. And there's one person keeping the record for you. That's how we used to do things. Now what blockchain did is, imagine this is you, and there are a couple of guys keeping the records for you. And these guys are verifying the works of each other, checking if it's correct or not, before finally putting it down in their ledgers. So which record do you trust? Blockchain improves transparency. Now the blockchain, one of the greatest use cases of blockchain has been done in Ukraine recently, wherein the government tried using blockchain as a tool for voting. Right, in our country, this is happening in our country way, way back, wherein voting is done secretly. Somebody collects the data secretly. And then they process the data and then announces the result. But what blockchain does in voting, for example, is that every time a vote is casted, it publishes that one and counted that one in real time. Now, and it announces to everyone that there's a new vote coming in. And blockchain improves immutability. These are the three things that blockchain does. It improves trust, it improves transparency, and it improves immutability. Why do you need blockchain? Do you need to improve your trust? Do you need to improve your transparency? And do you need to improve your immutability? And that's the time you dig into the blockchain. One of our initiatives here in the UAE is we partner with people or with companies that want to use the blockchain or wanted to get to know the blockchain, and we launch initiative campaigns to promote what blockchain is all about. One of our initiatives is called our university challenge, which will be launched on Thursday, which we are doing in partnership with here at Watt University, wherein we are challenging young minds to develop something, to develop an idea that solves a real-world problem and do it on a blockchain. Blockchain is a wonderful tool, but it's something that you should understand. Thank you.
Can you define it very simply, very shortly for everybody?
All right. To simply define, blockchain is a digital record. That's it. It's just a digital record that is immutable, that is transparent, and it's loaded into a network of systems.
Banks were as a central place, as a central ledger. So you replace that with a distributed ledger. So if you want to hack a bank or hack one specific space, it's much easier to do. In that blockchain, in a digital distributed ledgers environment, your record is sitting in 100,000, 2,000 spaces with a secure key. So basically what is happening is that we are distributing our services, and this starts helping all sorts of things. Basically, it's almost unhackable. A very dear friend of mine, his name is Noah Rayford. Noah is the head of Dubai Future Foundation. He's the general manager there and COO. He is from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. MIT was not recognized by the local authorities as a university. He's done a PhD. It took him 6 weeks to get it verified that MIT is actually an institute and is sort of like a university, because that's now how it's officially registered. It took him 6 weeks just to process his visa. So the reason I'm saying that is that efficiencies will come in, and the number of times he had to go to the ministries, get things approved, get it tested in the US, bring it back here, get it stamped, etc., etc. Blockchain starts removing all of those inefficiencies and effectively saves you time, saves organizations time, brings efficiency, brings optimization, and brings that process.
If your data is confidential, because you are distributing to so many places, if one place is hacked, you lose confidentiality. Is there a higher risk in case it's confidential?
The NEM blockchain doesn't store your physical data. What we store is transaction hashes. This transaction hashes now is then attached to your data for verification that the data that you're holding is correct. So there are now other applications or solutions that built this thing, like they built a cloud storage wherein the file will be sharded, it will be encrypted, and then it will be distributed. Even though somebody has it, the one data that he has is not usable for him, because the blockchain is the one that reassembles the data again. So actually that solution is called Proxima X. You can learn more about them at proximax.io.
I just wanted to ask if you knew of any real case examples of a strategy that has affected and impacted the retail industry in terms of the consumer experience or guest experience, and how you see that working in Dubai.
Pretty good question. There is one system or one application. They will be coming here in Dubai on the Dtec Tech Week as well. They're called Pay2Mat. Simply, they're trying to bring in digital payments to consumers. It's very simple. You just have to have a QR code and pay using your phone. And they're using it now in Ukraine, wherein vegetable vendors on the street have a QR code in their stalls. And you key in the amount, you pay it using their system.
Thank you very much, sir. Big hand for the gentleman who put this thing together.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Peter. We heard a lot about data. We heard a lot about several technologies that are there. And one of the thoughts that I always have in forums like this is that if we get bogged down in silos of data, in individual projects, we end up losing the big picture. And we as human beings, and being part of this community, we need to get on a helicopter right up there and then look down and sort of say, how is our smart cities going to help me? How will my life change? how will the community be enhanced? Questions on the environment, questions on cost saving, questions on, and then the other side, the difficult questions, the questions on ethics, the questions on data security, the questions on how we are going to cope with these things in the future. So those are the kinds of things that we have to balance. And I think very often, and I'm really, really thankful and grateful to Dtec, who create this open forum where they get, you know, crazy people like me. I mean, my company is called MAD Talks, so I must be mad to be part of that. And I really congratulate them because they actually encourage an open and candid exchange. So you can see that some of the Q&A that we have done was actually very, very, you know, forceful. And that is what a startup community is about, and how the ideas, they percolate and they flourish and then they grow from there.
First of all, thank you, Tariq. As always, you're a fantastic moderator. Let's give you a big clap.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. He's the man who makes it all possible, and he just literally, I appreciate all of your openness and the ability to make these conversations happen. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We are going to do the next Dtec Forum. I just wanted to announce that. That will be on the 11th of December. It will be on artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and virtual reality. That usually includes a lot of really vivid slides and projections, perhaps even some gadgets, so don't miss it. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for coming. This has been, I guess, the most populous Dtec Forum so far. Keep it up, and we love to see you here again in December. Thank you very much.